We are live. It's a sports hangover. I'm J Dog. That's Mike. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, J Dog. Hanukkah's over. Christmas is in like 2 days, right? 2 days, 3 days. Christmas Eve is tomorrow. Um, we're still here. We're still doing content. We don't take a day off.
It's a special show for us. It is the holiday season. We don't say Merry Christmas, Mike, because there's so many different holidays that people
Can,
celebrate. So we're definitely being overarching with this one.
can I say I've just gone ahead and said Merry Christmas. I refuse to be
Yeah,
PC
which is
about it.
interesting because you're Jewish.
Yeah, but I feel like Merry Christmas is like a nod to like Happy Holidays. But when people say Happy Holidays to me, I feel like it's like, well, I'm not really sure if I should say this to you or not. So I feel like they're being like a pussy about it. Like, just say
Oh
Merry
my
Christmas. Like,
God.
yeah, I'm aggressive about it. I no longer will say Happy Holidays. It is Merry
This is
Christmas.
the politically correct side of you, and I don't appreciate it. There's so many holidays out there, and it's not just Hanukkah for us, Mike. For one,
Yeah.
you grew up barely even celebrating Christmas. I know, like, one of your parents celebrates Christmas. Christmas wasn't important to you, but now you say Merry Christmas. I don't get it. Happy Holidays covers everything in one boat. You have to say Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy whatever else people are celebrating. That's a lot of words.
I'm playing the numbers game. I'm assuming most people I'm not going to go walk around and say Happy Hanukkah to. I would say Merry Christmas, and they kind of get it. Like, all right, look,
I'm offended. No, I'm offended.
Are you going to correct me on the street if I walk by and say Merry Christmas? You're going to be like, God damn it, I'm a Jew. Say Happy Holiday to me.
Mike, I promise you, people in like the grocery store have said Merry Christmas to me before, and I will say Happy Hanukkah back. Yep.
No, you won't.
You're giving me a holiday that I don't celebrate. I'll give you a holiday.
Do you take off your yarmulke and show them?
I don't wear one every day. What are you saying?
I know.
Oh my gosh, we're off topic. Happy holidays. Listen, fantasy football's over for both of us. This is our year-end show, by the way. So we're gonna recap the year. So stick around. It gets better from here. We're gonna recap some.
Next week is our prediction show. Just so there is another show coming. This is not the last show of the year.
No. So we're looking back on 2020. What a hellish year it was. So we're gonna look back on that. We've got some lists in today's show, and then next week's show we'll be back around New Year's with our predictions for next year and looking back on our predictions from this year, which were surely inaccurate, except for like Patrick Mahomes winning the Super Bowl or something like that. But I wanted to mention we're both done with fantasy football. And last time we talked, we weren't both done with fantasy football, but now I'm done, and I'm upset. But Mike, I realize I don't need to be upset because me losing fantasy football is kind of equivalent to the Rams losing to the Jets. And in my perspective as a Dolphins fan, I'm wearing my Miami Sports Hangover shirt. Get your gear today on the sportshangover.com, by the way.
Actually, as a Miami, that was very exclusive. I got to put those back up.
Put them up. It's a great Miami shirt. It's our colors and everything. It's almost like you stole it. So as a Dolphins fan, back to my original point, I'm so happy that the Jets beat the Rams and they are not going to get Trevor Lawrence, which we talked about a few weeks ago. They blew that game, so they were still on track to get him. Trevor Lawrence is so special. I had to lose my fantasy football matchups, which were contingent on the Rams playing well, Mike, for the Jets to lose as well, for the Jets to win and therefore not get Lawrence. So that's my overall way of saying I'm okay losing fantasy football because the Jets won, and now Trevor Lawrence won't torment Tua and the Dolphins for the next 10 years.
I love the part about fantasy football now that the losers supposedly are all going to tie. I want all the losers. If they tie, everybody, I wasn't going to say anything in the thread. You were in the group thread. There's a rule like if you lose, you have to go whatever, do karate, go take the SATs, basically embarrass yourself in public. If 4 people all tie and lose, I want them all to do the punishment. There's no getting out of it. Like everybody should be committed to it. If you lose, do it. I don't want to go head to head or anything like that.
You're going inside baseball here to one of our leagues, which does a punishment. And it's one of the best rules in one of our fantasy leagues for everyone listening. Try to bring a punishment about. We've had people take the SATs before. I had a bad team at one point, believe it or not, Mike. I had a bad team, and I was prepared to do stand-up comedy in Los Angeles. That was going to be my punishment. That would have been super nerve-wracking, of course.
You dug yourself out. It took years to come out of the bottom, but you came on top this year, I feel like.
Do you remember why I started in the bottom in that league?
I do. I do remember.
You didn't want to mention it. But yeah, so that's a good one. We do want all the losers. But anyway, Trevor Lawrence going to the Jaguars, not the Jets. You're a Gardner Minshew fan. I think he could be on the move this offseason.
Yeah, the Jags, I don't think they're competing anymore. I think they're just going to go for Trevor Lawrence. I think this was terrible for the Jets to do, but they're looking good. And I think next year it might be in my prediction. Sam Darnold will be on another team and probably will be a lot better than what he was doing on the Jets. I don't know what happened. There's like sometimes these teams that are just like shitholes, right? Like you go there and they're like nothing ever good comes out of it. Kind of like the Bengals, like feel like for a long time.
Burrow should pull them out, to be fair. And they beat the Steelers. So what does it say about the Steelers if the Bengals are a bad team?
God, the Steelers are on a downslide. I feel bad for the Steelers. It is
Do you feel bad? You don't feel
I mean,
bad.
a little bit. It's like they were on top riding it. And the one thing I do notice is mutual friend, no communication during these hours now because they're so like he's desperate. He wants a win. You know, he's riding the high and now he's crashing. And it's not good.
At first, it was like, oh, you lose to Washington, they're a scrappy team. You lose to Buffalo, they're one of the best teams. When you lose to Cincinnati without Joe Burrow, you can't defend that in any way. The Steelers are trash right now. They're garbage. We reported last week exclusively from the Hangover Hotline that Steeler fans were ready to jump off the bandwagon. They wanted to fire everybody. Then they lost to the Bengals. What are they saying this week?
I think TikTok is ruining their team. They're doing little TikTok dances on everybody's center logo, which bad vibes all around, obviously. People are getting hit in the field for it. If you haven't watched the Steelers are very prominent on TikTok. Like, what's his name? What's
Juju Smith-Schuster, especially, right?
Juju and then the other guy, the new receiver. I don't know what his name is.
Chase Claypool is also on TikTok?
He is on there so much. He's dancing all the time.
Well, Juju dances on the 50-yard line logo of the other team of the opponent when they're visiting. So he danced on the Bengals logo and he put it on TikTok. And then he had his clock cleaned on one of the first plays of the game. He actually fumbled, getting hit over the middle. It turns out that Juju Smith-Schuster has published 95 TikTok videos this year. He has not gone over 95 yards once all year.
That was a good stat. I like that stat. That's a really good one. God,
I only know that because I drafted him, and it drives me nuts how the man just stays the line of scrimmage and catches balls like screen passes and then advances 2 yards, and that's a good play for Juju.
Get that PPR. So I have one headline. I know you're not going to like this. I know we want to start off strong, but the NHL just changed your offside rule, and I just wanted to let you know the NHL season's starting. Also, NBA season
breaking news. Hit the button.
I don't even know where the breaking news button is, but NHL changed their rule. Where is my? There it is. Hold on. Here it comes. They changed the rule. Now, before offside, you would have to be like touching the blue line or below, in front or behind the blue line. Now it's crossing the plane of the blue line. So if your body crosses it, kind of like the NFL, if your arms are over the blue line or the white line, it counts. You're in. Minor change, but there were a lot of weird penalties last year. You know, obviously, Jeremy, you watched a lot of hockey, right? The bubble hockey, watched tons of it. You know, the offside rules are retarded or whatever. Like now, moving on, and we're getting new ones.
This is big. The rule changes in hockey really drive the ratings for us. So I'm glad you're reporting that to our audience, Mike. I also think it's a little strange that we're changing rules the year after the Lightning wins. Does this mean the Lightning just had an unfair advantage in the offside department and the league had to correct it?
They're just really good at management and got a lot of good players. So just wait for this season. And also basketball started. I know you're excited about this. Christmas basketball, it's your favorite time of year.
Well, actually, I'm not, because they just decided to start on December 22nd. And of course, we've been pushing for December 25th. Last night, the NBA started. Did people know about it? Did people watch it? Ratings were not good, Mike. We need it to start Christmas Day. Instead, we're getting an NFL game on Christmas Day. It's Kirk Cousins. No one wants to see that, but we are going to have to watch it on Christmas Day. At least it's not like a Lions, Washington football team type of deal that we always see on Thanksgiving. But it should start on Christmas. Should have games all day on Christmas. It started last night, and no one really cares yet.
I didn't watch anything. I got alerts on my phone saying like Lakers, Clippers, like they're playing. Didn't really care. It is a
Speaking of, I told you a few weeks ago, you've been starting every show with James Harden, and I told you a few weeks ago that he's not going to be traded. He's going to be on the Rockets to start the season. Do you know where he played last night?
Where he played last night?
He played for the Rockets.
Yeah, he played for the Rockets, but he can still be traded, right? This is still a thing.
He can, but he's playing. And so I feel like he lost his leverage. Like there's no holdout. There's no, I'm not going to report. He's playing for the Rockets. What incentive do they have to trade him now?
Well, he's overweight. Maybe trade him for that reason. If they can get something of value back, they kind of have to see how the season plays out, right? Like you have some asset that technically could be valuable to somebody, but you need a lot more value back because you're going to take a hit on salary cap, right? Unless they pay. I don't
And
know.
they're not going to get that value back, and they're not going to trade him, and he's going to be there all year.
Okay. That could be. Listen, next week I'll have a prediction for where James Harden will be in 2021, but we'll see. What do you want to do? You want to? I have some bullshit or believe. Scandal City. We have a lot of top 5 lists of wrapping up the year. Where do you want to go?
Let's get to all of our lists in a minute. Do you have a few scandal cities for this week specifically?
Yeah. Let's see. You know, sometimes there it is.
Time to dig up the dirtiest stories around the sport world in this week's Scandal City.
Well, the first one, Jeremy, was about James Harden. Scandal. He started throwing stuff, threw a ball at one of his teammates. I don't know if it's that big a deal. Sometimes you get heated when you're playing, but threw a ball. It's a little scandal.
I get heated when I play sports. I feel like I do more than that, so I think it's okay. Did he do it on the game? Was this televised?
During the practice. So I don't think it was televised.
I think it's fine.
Listen, yeah, but now you can see there's like a little drama. No one's talking about it. Like, what's the situation with Harden? Is he going to go somewhere? This is the big drama of this season. Like everybody else is like, all right, we're good where we are. Harden wants out because he got screwed. But
yeah, he's in a big mood. We know that. So maybe he'll move on. Maybe not.
Next one, Dwayne Haskins celebrated, became the starter of Washington football team, then ended up at a strip club. I don't know, like COVID rules. This seems a little crazy to me. And we've been doing this, Jeremy. This is 10 years now. We've been doing this show.
God. Mike, now I have a trophy.
I know you got a trophy. Sometimes there's weird things that happen and you're like, why is this still happening? Does no one learn from these like mistakes? Like, hey guys, maybe don't go to a strip club after. Maybe when COVID was like not a thing, you could go celebrate, do what you want to do. But this is not a good move when there's COVID. Your whole team could be at risk. Who knows what these strippers are doing? I didn't even know strip clubs were open. I can't do anything in LA. I can't go out. I can't, nothing. I sit here, right here.
You can't have outdoor dining, which is a whole nother level. I thought maybe he flew down to Florida because everything is open in Florida. I promise you, Mons Venus is doing killer business every weekend during the pandemic.
Are you
promise
serious?
You that. Yeah. Mike, wide open, everything. It's wild. So this was in Washington. Dwayne Haskins got a win. I know he's not used to that because that never happens for him in the NFL. So he had to celebrate. It is a scandal because you're putting your players at risk. Where normally go out, party, do your thing, just don't get arrested, don't show up on a video doing something stupid. And now it's a whole nother level because you're bringing whatever the strippers have back into the locker room. So that's a problem for Washington.
Well, he also came out and said, I want to publicly apologize for my actions. Spoke to Coach Rivera yesterday and took full accountability. This is just obviously some PR team that helped him tweet this out, but I don't get the move. It just seems like I know Aaron Rodgers isn't doing this. I know I know Russell Wilson is not doing this.
Nope. Certainly not Russell. No.
Not Russell. And so I don't get it. I don't get why this happened. And it blows my clearly he's not the one for this team. Like you can't be a leader and just like, dudes, let's go to the strip club right now.
And that's the point, I think. He's not the guy for that team. They had the second pick in this year's draft, and they took Chase Young. He's been great on defense. They could have taken Tua. They could have taken Herbert, and they didn't. They wanted to roll with Haskins. That turned out into Alex Smith, who's been a great comeback story, but he's not going to be a guy who's going to win a playoff game for them. I know they might win the division. That's a whole nother story. It's ugly. They're not going to win a playoff game, even if they get there. But Haskins isn't the guy. They should be picking around 15. In this year's draft, there's quarterbacks out there. BYU's got a great Mormon quarterback who was slinging it last night against UCF. He could end up there and be completely different. I don't think he'll be going to any strip clubs if he goes to Washington.
What else you got? You want to do another scandal or? I don't
have any scandals. I'm ready to get into the year-end stuff.
All right, let's do some top fives. Why don't we do our top 5 work from home essentials? Because this is what you texted me. You said I got top 5 work from home essentials. I tried to put some together. I don't think I did as good as you because I think you were excited about your work from home essentials. You were traveling and working from home, so I'm curious to know what's on your list.
I feel like I learned a lot this year. Things like you need a stable laundry machine to do your washer and dryer business in, because when you're traveling around the country, that doesn't happen. But my top 5, Mike, and we'll see if you agree. It's just that I've always been an office guy. I've always been a corporate guy. I've always been heading to the office, always traveling, and this made me settle into a little routine at home, which was brutal for me, brutal for everyone else, but we got through it. So number 5, CNBC, because I'm a day trader now.
Oh,
so I have CNBC on all day, every day. Just keeping an eye on my stonks. Number 4 is a comfy chair. You'll see I'm in a swivel chair right now. rest in peace. If anyone's been sitting on like a hard kitchen chair the last 9 months for like
Not
8
good.
hours a day, that's got to hurt your ass, your back. That's awful. The swivel chair with padding, super important. Number 3, go outside throughout the day. 8 hours a day inside, not recommended. You don't
Not
realize
good.
when you're in the office or you're working or traveling, you're always walking around outside somewhere. When you're working at home, you have a tendency to just sit in one place. Take your calls outside. Go for a walk. Walk the dogs in your case. That's super important. Number 2, I went through the first 6 months of the pandemic without one of these, a mouse. Shockingly, I was working on a laptop
Got
on
that new
my
Mac mouse.
trackpad for 6 months, Mike.
Oh my
6 months.
God.
I was just working on the trackpad. I didn't know how terrible it was until I started using a mouse. I wish I used a mouse from day one. And number 1, the most important thing, work from home thing that you can have is caffeine. Because let me tell you, you will not be able to focus. You'll not be able to get your proper rest. You're going to feel out of it. Everything's a little off. Caffeine has saved me to lock my eyes into the computer to get my work done during COVID. That's my top 5. What do you think?
I like it. I went a little different way. I think the same for me. Some things were a little different, but I'll go down my list. No particular order for me. I said a good webcam. I think you need a great webcam. Everybody's doing Zooms. You got to have a good webcam or a good background. One of the two need to happen because listen, we don't want to see.
I don't have either. I don't have either one.
You gotta get one. You gotta just get the Zoom backgrounds. You're good to go. And I know aren't you using like Microsoft Teams? Do they allow you to have backgrounds over there?
Yeah, you can like blur it and shit.
Lighting. Look at my lighting setup. This has elevated my Zoom calls. And so we take so many calls, like you might as well look good, make it feel professional. Got lights shining.
Now you didn't get like the biggest thing on Amazon this year was 1 was tripods, but 2 was that little ring light that goes behind your computer. You don't have that. You have a different lighting setup.
I have like an LED panels that are just sitting here shining light onto me from 2 different ways. So it looks good. It's nice. I'm a little red all the time on these videos. Not really sure if that's color.
I don't think it's the lighting. I'm a little bald on my videos. I don't think it's the lighting either.
House slippers, number 3, 4. You gotta have some good house slippers. I got some amazing, comfy, insulated Crocs that I walk around with. Really comfy. And then, I had strong coffee on my list too, because those were a lot of coffee.
You know, I didn't realize it before, but I didn't keep a lot of coffee in the house because on the weekends I don't drink it a lot. Maybe go out with friends or pick something up. During the weekday, I was drinking Works coffee, and I was drinking a lot of it. And then work from home happens, and you're like, "Damn, I need to invest in my own coffee." That was a little bit of a hit at first to get used to.
Yeah, you gotta really make your own coffee because going out every day getting $5 coffees, lattes, whatever the hell you're getting, really add up. I got a great coffee machine off Amazon. It grinds it fresh every morning, pours it through. Great.
That's great. Nice. You'll post that link on Instagram. What do you want to get to next? I have this interesting list. Maybe we'll go through this. The most searched athletes in 2020. Let's do a little bullshit or believe on this.
Okay, bullshit or believe. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe.
By the way, tough year economically. We did lose our sponsors for things like J-Dog Takes On and Bullshit or Believe, but we do hope Baja Mar is back for 2021 when they reopen. So we do hope to get that back on the books. Just shout out.
Hope so. Yeah, shout out Baja.
So this is the most searched athletes in 2020. I have the top 5, Mike, and some of them are surprising. So I want you to say bullshit or believe if they deserve to be in the top 5 most searched athletes of the year. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, number 5. This is going to take you back to March, a little PTSD. Rudy Gobert.
Okay, that makes sense. He kind of kicked off everything shutting down. That's what I remember. I agree. I should definitely be on the list, but this far into the year, you almost forget what happened. Yeah. But that was like the moment when we're like, this is real. Sports have now shut down. What's next?
It was tough. That was in early March. He tested positive, and they canceled that game, and then sports themselves were canceled all that night, really. Number 4 surprised me. It's Mike Tyson. He was just in a fight recently, but prior to December, we didn't talk about Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I'm going to say bullshit on that one. I know he's been doing like a lot of marijuana stuff. Was he on Joe Rogan this year? Was that last year? I don't know. Why was he the most searched? That's
just really, that fight that he did in December, because he made the comeback, but it wasn't that good, right? I mean, you watched it.
I didn't watch it. No.
I didn't watch it. You're an expert for
No
that.
clue. I'm going to say bullshit on that. I don't know
Bullshit
what the
on that
hell's
one.
going
I
on.
agree.
Yeah.
Number 3, this was like a Scandal City nominee of the year. I don't know if you remember this. Bubba Wallace, the NASCAR driver, he found a noose in his garage, Mike, and that was
Oh,
one of the biggest scandals. It turned out that the noose wasn't a noose at all. NASCAR did an investigation. It was just a little hinge to open the door, but Bubba Wallace was the number 3 searched athlete of the year.
I kind of remember that story for like a minute, and then it kind of moved on to the next thing because there's during the middle of the pandemic, I feel like a lot of news was coming in and out really quickly, and everybody
Yes.
was on to the next thing. That's weird that he would be number 3 on the list as most searched.
It was like a combination of race and sports and scandals. So I think that's why it kind of went up the ranks. But you're right. Anything took it back to COVID this year,
Yeah.
including that. All right, number 2. This one you might like. It's Tom Brady. It happened right after COVID started. It was in April when he signed with the Bucks. Number 2 most searched athlete of the year.
I could see that. A lot of leading up to the NFL season coming. Tom Brady moving to Tampa. Tom Brady hanging out with Gronk. Tom Brady going boating. I see it. I saw a lot of that news.
But you
I
could
agree with that.
argue it was a lot of wasted ink on Tom Brady because the Bucks aren't going anywhere.
You don't think they're going playoffs? You don't think they're
I mean,
going to have the Super Bowl in Tampa with the Bucks?
No, I don't think they have a chance, being that the best team they've beaten all year is like the Falcons, I think. They beat the Packers, but Aaron Rodgers doesn't play well.
They barely beat the Falcons. They barely beat the Falcons.
I think Tom Brady and the Bucks have been a mess, to be honest, and that's more on that coming next week for our predictions.
Ooh, I like that.
The number 1 most searched athlete. Any guesses before we go there? You know who 5 through 2 are?
Most search athlete. Well, I'm trying to think like
It's
Jake
not
Paul.
LeBron.
Jake Paul just had a fight, so I'm thinking like maybe he could
He's
be up
hardly
there.
an athlete.
He's
Jesus.
big.
It's an insult to athletes everywhere.
Is it NFL related or NBA? Where are we going here?
No, it's a hard one. I'll be honest, it's hard. And it happened before COVID, back when people searched for non-COVID tracker things. It was Ryan Newman, the NASCAR driver at the Daytona 500. His car was in such a bad wreck, people thought he was dead, just like Dale Earnhardt many years prior. He was in the hospital for days and days. He couldn't walk at first, and then all of a sudden he like recovered and walked out of the hospital. So he was number 1. Shocking, number 1.
Don't remember that at all. I'm going to say bullshit on that one.
I believe it.
What is how do you categorize, like, is it the volume of that day or just like over the course of this year? Over the
course of the year, Mike, these are the most searched athletes on Google in 2020. It's a real thing.
It doesn't. I don't believe it. Let's do Big Dick Energy.
Bullshit.
I like it. Some bullshit.
Big Dick Energy, winner of the week.
What do you got as your Big Dick Energy of the year? Not the week.
I have 3. Of the year. I have 3 candidates. Can I just kind of talk through them with you?
Yeah, just go through them. Yeah.
So let me just say, like, one candidate would be Dr. Fauci. The guy was our guiding light. I know it's not especially a sports crossover, but he was our big dick American of the year in a way, like such our guiding light during COVID. So he's someone I thought of. Another one I thought of was Adam Silver. The way that he led in shutting down the NBA, but also his creation of the NBA bubble, like set the template for how sports should be done. Yeah. And we saw like the NFL and college football and baseball all struggled to different degrees, while the NBA got it right from the jump. And that bubble was like revolutionary. And like the NBA Twitter handle for Bubble Life, like the whole thing is like going to go down as one of the coolest things of COVID itself. Okay. But my number 1, Mike, I think I'm going with number 1 here. It's Patrick Mahomes, because he won the Super Bowl this year in 2020, and he's only lost 1 game since to I think it's like the Raiders for some reason, or someone like that. Yeah. And he's probably going to win the Super Bowl again, and he's unbelievable, and he's still putting up these crazy numbers, and it's swept under the COVID rug a little bit. But Patrick Mahomes is my big dick energy of the year.
I like that one. I went a totally different way here. I kept thinking like, what was big this year? And I didn't think of a person. I thought of a website. And this website to me seems like the biggest dick energy of all time. A lot of people got laid off. A lot of people had alternative jobs this year. And OnlyFans became the biggest marketplace for selling your nudes. And I'm going to give it the big dick energy. It made over $2 billion this year of people going online and selling weird pictures of their feet or their boobs or whatever it is. My big dick energy, OnlyFans.
That is a different lane, but not a bad lane at all to go down. I love how, listen, 2020 brought about these changes in technology that we weren't anticipating at all, and that's one of them. Like sex and dating and porn, they all became more complicated things. But OnlyFans brought it to the masses in a connection kind of way.
I feel like OnlyFans made people become their like solopreneurs or whatever. You were maybe you were modeling, or maybe you were just doing like you were working 9 to 5 job, but then all of a sudden you realize I could get 100 guys to pay me for my boobs and I'm in.
Yeah.
And I think that was great.
Easy money.
Yeah. People were making so much money on there. So good for them and good for OnlyFans. It's made a whole new career for a lot of people.
The tricky part is all those women who are on there. It's going to be hard for them to get back into the corporate job when their boss Googles them for their next interview and they show up.
I don't think any of these people are. Some of them were going, working at like Walmart to working over here and making 6 figures on OnlyFans.
Wow. That's interesting. Vice is getting into OnlyFans. I don't know if you heard this, but for food, they're doing food porn. I don't know if that's crossover quite works, but they're doing food porn with like AMSR and like great sound effects and like working the food. I don't know.
Trying too hard with all that ASMR stuff. Like we're over it. I see people on YouTube all the time try it.
I don't like it either. One question I wanted to ask you as we wrap up the year. God, OnlyFans was a great call. Does a title in 2020 count? Because your team won one. The team that plays right next to your house won one. The Dodgers, the Lightning are where I was talking about. The Lakers play down the street. They won one. So you're connected to all these championships, Mike. You're wearing a Lightning shirt right now, right? It's Lightning colors.
Yeah.
Do these titles count? You should be the definitive person to rule on this.
I think they count, but I think it's going to be hard to, I guess it'll be easy to remember this time. Be like, oh my God, who won during this period of time during the pandemic?
Yeah.
I think looking back on it, we'll remember it, but I don't know if we're going to hold it in the same value that we hold all the other ones. It's tough because we don't know where we're going to be in 5 years from now. We'll look back and like, oh my God, I can't believe I sat inside for 9 months and didn't leave my house. I couldn't go out to eat or anything. It's going to look crazy. Like I'm making a time capsule that I'm going to bury in my backyard over here. And I'm going to open it up in 10 years. And I'm going to do it I've always wanted to do this. And I'm trying to write down a list of stuff that went on this year and how it happened, just so then I could look back on this time and remember it more clearly, like in it, instead of looking back on it with just the memories. Because sometimes, you look back on us being, in college and going out. Like you can barely probably remember like spotty things here and there, friends getting beat up in bars, stuff like that. But you don't have the memory from that moment. Like imagine if after the bar, after one of our friends gets beat up in the bar, you go home and journal about it. And you have this like journal, like, damn, he got beat up and jumped by all these guys. And then we came home and had to be like, those are the things I want to remember. So I think looking back on this, we might remember them more, but I think in the time we don't remember it as much because so much other shit was going on.
Does that make sense? Cool. I love the idea. I think it's great. You're going to be living in Texas in like 3 years. So in 10 years, I guess you're going to travel back to your backyard and like knock on the door and try to go back there and dig it up. I'm curious, what are you putting in this time capsule? Can you share with us some of these?
I got a voice recorder. Memory is internal on the voice recorder. So Aaron and I sat around, we had some wine. We were talking about what was going on this year, how things were going, talking to our future selves. I printed out some pictures. I threw a Pokemon card in there because Pokemon, is getting hot this year.
It's going to be worth a lot then,
yeah. Oh, yeah. So a lot of just random things I've been throwing in just so you can look back and remember. But the voice recorder is the big one. I want to do some video too, but I got to put it on like a little SD card and throw it in there because you got to future-proof it. I can't just open it up.
No VHS tapes.
Yeah, I almost have to buy a camera to put in there to then use in 10 years so I can open it up and watch the video.
That's a good idea. I love it. But nothing from the Lightning is going in there. So when you look back on this year, your championship, and therefore the championships of all the teams I mentioned won't be the parts of the year that we remember. So therefore they hardly count.
I think they will count. I just think we'll look back differently. That's all. They will definitely count.
Okay. They will count.
They will count.
It was just such a weird year. Like the NBA
Yeah.
bubble, does that really count for LeBron? It does, but
I
like
think it does.
hardly.
He definitely counts it. He's counted.
He got
it
that
as well.
villa, you know. I don't know.
All right, let's do our top 10 TV shows because you had a
This is
5
big.
list.
This is
I
big.
had a
This was
10.
the year of streaming. This was the year of watching. This was the year of doing nothing but watching these shows. So this is the most definitive list of shows ever, I think.
I wouldn't say it's the definitive list of it. Some are more recent, some are like at the time. Now, I don't have an order for this. I think these are just shows that if you said name top 10 shows you watched this year, I think these would all be in it. And no particular order. I thought they were all great in their own and all at different times. Like maybe I won't watch The Tiger King right now and be like, damn, this is good. But at the time,
in the moment, it was pretty great. You want to start there with Tiger King? I thought that was revolutionary, and that's definitely on my list too. It's something that Netflix probably, when they acquired it or when they first heard about it, they're like, "Oh, we'll put this up," and never ever thought about the ways it would resonate. And it captivated the country, and it was like a community event, and that's how I think it transformed just outside of Netflix when everyone was talking about it all at once.
It was just Tiger King. Yeah, I think once we locked down, Tiger King was all we had, and the internet and at home by yourself, it was Tiger King and the internet, and you had conversations and you could talk to people about it. Remember at the beginning of COVID, you would like FaceTime your friend, talk to them. That slowly drifted away when you didn't want to do that anymore.
We should still be doing that, right?
I think you got fatigue from always doing this with other people, and then like I don't want to be on phone with 10 other people right now because talking over it's tough. When there's 2 of us, we talk over each other. When there's 5 of us, no doubt you talk over each other.
It's true, but like LA is more on lockdown now than it was like before.
Yeah.
Yet we haven't touched our house party app in so long.
No more house parties. It's just like one-on-one text messages or something like that. What do you got for? I guess go for number 2. I'm sure Tiger King was on there. I'm sure we'll have a lot of duplicates.
Yeah, this was a show that I think came out in 2019, but me and I think a lot of people watched in 2020. Succession was just an amazing, amazing show on HBO. It's done several seasons.
I would say it has to be dated in 2020. I don't know. Are we?
That's why I clarified. I just want to throw it out there. If you want to move on,
great show.
I fucking loved it. And if you haven't watched it, go binge every season.
It is a great show. I'm gonna go with. Let's start. I'll go in order. What I have here. I have The Undoing. Nicole Kidman last on HBO just recently ended. I thought it was a great show. Definitely up there on top 10 of this season or this year. So thoughts?
Nicole Kidman's amazing. I did watch it. I didn't put it in my top 10. I thought it was really good. I thought the finale was just didn't have as many turns as I wanted it to have in that last episode. Nicole Kidman's amazing in everything she does, especially for HBO. I loved Big Little Lies the last few years with her and Reese, and she was amazing in that. And she's such an amazing actress. We're lucky to have her doing TV instead of movies.
Wow, Jeremy. Sending a love note to Nicole Kidman. Wake up, Nicole. Hey, J-Dog's here. What do you got? What's next?
How about a few comedies? I think Schitt's Creek wrapped up a run. It's just super mindless. You can put it on. It's 20 minutes. You can pay attention or not pay attention and still laugh several times. I love that one. Was that on your list?
It was not on my list. I tried. I really tried. You know, COVID, all this stuff. I was like, all right, let's give it a shot. It's been around for years. Couldn't do it. I got to like episode 2 or 3 and I'm like, nah, not for me.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
The first season's not good. You have to make it through the first season. There's a very low budget for the first season.
I know. Maybe the next year, 2021, I'll finish Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
Next one for me, not recent one. I was doing a lot of recent ones at first. Teacher on FX. It is great. If you haven't
never heard of
this,
it.
It's on FX or on Hulu. If you have Hulu, it's like in the FX hub. It's called A Teacher. It's about a teacher hooking up with a student. Really dramatic, really weird, and it's a great show. Just like super tense. There's something about it that it's done the right way, and it's not this like cheesy way of like, oh my god, you slept with him. It's like more about what happened to you and the feelings of going on when this was all happening. So really good, really good.
I've never heard of it, but it sounds dramatic.
Gotta watch
one
it.
of my big dramas of the year. I don't think this is on your list. Ozark.
It is, of course.
Oh, good. It's so violent. Every episode has gory murder, violence, stabbing, shooting. every episode took your breath away. I watched all 3 seasons this year, Mike, during COVID. So this was a big like
Great.
30-hour
Wow.
binge for me.
You really binged
And
it.
yeah, I loved it. Jason Bateman, never a huge fan in Arrested Development, didn't do much for me.
Really?
This was a great series. They're making one more, and I'm so excited for season 4.
I hope they make more than one more, but at some point
Only
they're
one.
going to run out of story. My next one
They're
was
gonna run out of people to kill.
Yeah, that's true. They're going to run out of people. Lovecraft Country. Loved it. Another HBO one. Really, really weird. Sometimes hard to follow, but I kind of wanted that weirdness to see what was going on. I really like that one.
I didn't see that one, but I'll check it
Wow.
out. I'll add it to the list. HBO makes a lot of good shows. Oh, if we're talking the weird category, I don't know if you've seen it. How To with John Wilson on HBO. Did you try watching that?
I couldn't get into it. I get the like witty humor. I think I have to like focus on it or be high, one of the two, and watch it because
I don't think you have to do either one. Maybe you have to focus on it. I don't think you have to be high. First of all, it's hard to explain what exactly it is, but it's one man who like straps a camera to his chest and observes New York City and tells stories and goes weird directions, but always leaves you with a great like poignant message after a 30-minute show. You rarely see him on camera, but he's narrating the whole thing. It's all real hidden camera footage. The footage that he has to match his voiceover, you as a filmmaker, as someone who went to film school, should really appreciate that, Mike, how he just has this endless trove of thousands and thousands of random hours of New York City video. It's just a weird show. It's like Fielder for You. Nathan Fielder's involved in it. I think people should check it out, and maybe you should give it another chance.
I'm gonna give it another shot. My next one was The Queen's Gambit. Still didn't finish it, but great show. Little slow, but I love the quality of it. It feels like a high production value movie. Love it.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch that and The Crown. Was The Crown on your list?
Crown is not on my list. I'm not into it. I'm not into the royal family.
So Queen's Gambit better than The Crown. Do you have to be into chess, or is it not really about chess?
You don't have to be into chess. I actually got into chess because I liked the show so much. I bought a chessboard.
That's impressive. Recently, instead of those two, which are on the list, I'm saying with the family in December, so it's like family focused stuff. We watched Flight Attendant on HBO also with Kaylee Cuoco. Did you watch it?
Really good, yeah.
Is it on your list?
It's not on the list.
Oh, it's top 10 for me. I thought it was really good. The flashbacks were a little crazy. She's this flight attendant who gets involved in a murder, and then like she's on the run and then trying to solve the murder. It was really good. Just got picked up for season 2, which is a little scary because it went on a book and there's no book for season 2. But I'm glad it got renewed, and I thought it was really great.
I love that one too. My next one, Mythic Quest: Raven's Banquet. It's an Apple TV original series. If you have ever played video games or know people that play video games, this show is the perfect video game show. It's about a production company making video games and like the inner workings at the office. It's the same guy that one of the guys that are on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's like the main star of the show. I've never laughed so much because it's like nerdy humor about video games. Mythic Quest. Go watch it on. If you have Apple TV Plus is like free if you have a new iPhone.
You have a Mac. There you
go. You get it. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I'm also not a big video game guy. You know that, so I don't know if I'm the right demo for that.
You'll like it. It's just like office comedy, but based around video games. Like working in an office, it's all witty humor stuff.
That's fair. I don't have Hulu, but I was on a Delta flight recently. I did travel a little bit during the pandemic. Never had COVID. Not over yet, but knock on wood, just so people know. But I saw this show. It's on Hulu on this flight, and I was laughing hysterically on the plane. And I was just so uncomfortable. I loved it. I don't even know how to say it properly. It's Pen 15, penis, Pen 15, Pen 15. It's so awkward and cringy, and it's a comedy, and you're laughing so hard at the situations that these girls are in. Have you seen it?
I think I tried watching one episode and I didn't really vibe with it, but it's like early 90s, right? They're based in like the 90s or early 2000s. Like
so like our age, like say in middle school, mostly on these girls getting into like awkward trouble, and it was so hilarious.
These girls are like literally our age now, pretending to be in middle school. So it's like
like they put braces on them and weird hair. Yeah. It's really bizarre. I don't have Hulu, so I need to like get someone's login and keep watching. And so if you have it, send it to the Hangover hotline because I need to keep watching. It was hilarious.
My next one, I think I'll crown this one as number one. The Last Dance. I think this was like the biggest event to watch the entire COVID. Like every Sunday, we talked about it. It was like what we talked about because there was nothing else to talk about sports-wise because there were sports. Last Dance to me was like number one. It was another thing that we all tuned into, just like Tiger King.
I love that choice. I think I forgot about that, to be honest. But for our sports audience, it's probably pretty high up there. It was really well done. And again, it was just like you said, it was like Tiger King. We all rallied around and we talked about it every week. And the way ESPN released it, like 2 hours per Sunday, you kind of had to keep up with this so you could be involved in the pop culture of it. I thought that was a great choice. For me in that same time frame, I was really big in the NFL draft, which isn't a TV show, but it kind of was like a 3-day TV show. There was nothing else on. The Dolphins had all these picks, and they got Tua. So the NFL draft was kind of what I was focused on around that same time.
Okay. So is that your top TV show of the year?
No, Joe Exotic, Tiger King was. Do you have a few more? We didn't go through 10 yet, did we?
We did, I think. I have one more. It's like an obscure Netflix one called Never Have I Ever. Did you watch that?
No.
I don't really know how. It's like a young girl going through life as like with her immigrant family from India, and they were just talking about like growing up there, and she's doing like high school stuff. I don't know why I liked it. It was just like a fun, easy show to watch, but it was really entertaining. So it's on Netflix. Great show. I think it's a Netflix original.
This is good.
Really
this is good. Giving people more to watch. I didn't see it. A few more on my list. Insecure on HBO is always a favorite. It came back with a new season early this year. Issa Rae is really good, talented, good drama, good comedy. It's a great show.
It's Issa.
Issa. It's not Issa. Issa.
No, Issa.
Okay. But they call her Issa in the show. Anyway, there's a show on Golf Channel. It's a travel show, Swing Expedition, Mike. I love it. It gets around all these different courses. It introduces you all these people. It's a great binge. It's also on Golf Pass. If you don't have cable, don't have Golf Channel, you can go watch it there, golfpass.com. And we watch a show as kids called Saved by the Bell. Peacock launched a Saved by the Bell reboot. Much different than the original.
By NBC right now?
Much different than the original. I recommend it. It was actually a really good watch. Definitely more 2020 version of everything with on-point things that today's high school kids would say. I thought it was reboots are hard. They don't always work. This one hit for me.
This one worked. This one actually, did you watch it really?
Yeah. Did you not?
No, I did not. I did not watch
10 episodes. Check it out.
Also, there's a Chrome app. It's called Netflix Wrapped, kind of like Spotify Wrapped, where it will show you all the shows and everything you watched and how many hours you spent on Netflix if you want to do it. I'll put it in the
link. It's concerning. Yeah, it's like screen time, right?
Yeah, it's not good. All right, let's do best bets real quick. That was our top 10 TV shows. We'll bang through the best bets.
And we're back next week.
Money talks, then I got a lot.
Yes, we're back next week. We're back next week. All right, best
Sorry
bets.
to blow your cover there.
Christmas week, kind of tough, throwing games together. Still got to do a lot more research. It's early. It's Wednesday. This is like a lot of gut feeling before I kind of dive in deep with our mutual friend here and what's going on. But Rams at Seattle. Seattle's favorited by 1.5 at home. I'm taking this game. It's a division game. I think there's value on Seattle. I think they're a better team than the Rams. Rams are up and down, right? Getting beat by terrible teams. I don't know what's happening. So I'm going to go with the team that I know could win this game, and I'm going to take Seattle.
I don't like it. I think the Rams are due for a bounce back. It makes no sense that they lost to the Jets. They always confuse you. I think Goff bounces back in a way that the Rams win the shootout.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Yeah. This is Christmas Day one. I just thought you got to bet on Christmas Day or you're not going to watch it. Vikings plus 7.5 at the Saints. I think the defense of the Saints are kind of weak, and like Breeze coming back from 11 broken ribs and a punctured lung. Short week for him. He wasn't great. I'll give him that. Wasn't like the best, but he did, hold it out. A lot of shootout there. I just question Breeze, like comfortability, his comfort coming back again. Like he got hit last week. How will he be this week? There's no real motivation for the Saints because they clinched the playoff spot. But then my other thought was, well, there's no motivation for the Vikings because I don't think they have an opportunity to get into the playoffs. So this might be more Saints motivation to maybe bounce Saints down a spot. I don't know if that's possible, but yeah, Viking, both of them basically no motivation for either, but I'll take the points.
It didn't make a lot of sense how there's no motivation for either, but you'll take the Vikings. So it's +7. So I get it.
Yeah.
You're right. We're all going to watch it.
Yes.
I'm glad we're back to our ways of me disagreeing with you because I disagree again. I think the
Hmm.
Saints do have a good defense. I think Breeze and Mahomes struggled in that game. Both quarterbacks combined for more incompletions than completions, which is not what you thought going into that game. It could have been 50-45 if they got into a better rhythm. They didn't. Listen, my thing with Kirk Cousins is he's really bad on the road. If you look at his home road splits, they're completely different. And he's really bad, as you told me, I believe, when he doesn't play at 1 o'clock. And he's not playing at 1 o'clock. It's a 4:30 game. It's essentially prime time because it's the only game on at that time. He's going to blow it on the road. The Saints will cover easily.
Cleveland at the Jets. I think Cleveland's defense is kind of bad. A lot of points getting scored against them. I'm taking the Jets here. Jets look hot right now. And I know this might be a public bet, but Jets at +9.5. I'm taking the points at home. Jets are at home. Cleveland, I think, has also clinched a playoff spot. So I don't know if they need this win. So I could see a little like lazy play from them, especially from Baker after Christmas.
But Mike, Cleveland is hunting Pittsburgh for the number 1 spot on top of that division, trying to get home field throughout the playoffs until they would possibly go to Kansas City. They're 10-4. The Steelers are 11-3 in free fall mode. The Browns are good. They blow out most teams they play who aren't the Ravens. Baker's hot. I like the Browns. We have another disagreement.
It's okay. Hey, I like it. I don't think the Jets are going to win this game. I don't think they're going to do anything like that. But hey, 9.5 points is a lot of points.
It's a lot of points.
Bills at Pats. Bills -7.5. Bills right now are on top of the AFC East. First time ever. Only thing I can see here is motivation to destroy the Patriots, division rival. That's what I'm going off of. And also, I predicted the Bills might win the Super Bowl. That's all I got. Cam Newton's terrible. He cannot throw the ball. So
you're right. He can't throw the ball. He couldn't even beat Tua and the Dolphins when Belichick owns rookie quarterbacks and left-handed quarterbacks. So this is a Monday night game. The Patriots were eliminated from the playoffs by the Dolphins for this. Yes, the Dolphins eliminated them. Yes. I think the Bills show up. The Patriots don't, and that's an easy ass whooping.
Easy. Next one is Eagles -2 at Dallas. Jalen Hurts really put some life into this team.
Yeah.
I thought Carson Wentz was supposed to be good, and then all of a sudden Jalen Hurts is just slinging the ball around. Both teams are actually still not out of it in the NFC. So they're both on the look for a spot in the wild card, which is insane to me.
Disturbing, yeah.
It is. So I'm taking Eagles here -2. I think they're a lot better. They've gotten a lot better the last few weeks. Dallas kind of going the other way. So Eagles here.
I agree. Jalen Hurts has changed that offense. Carson Wentz will be looking for a new team. More on that in next week's Sports Stradamus predictions.
Sports Stradamus. We got to get a
so the NFC East is wide open. That's what the spot they're fighting for, and all 4 teams can still get in, even the Giants and Washington. I like the Eagles too, so we have more agreement.
Wow. Okay. So that's it. These might change. I'll put them on Instagram or something on Saturday after the final decision.
The people are waiting.
You got to bet it. You got to bet all these games. By the way, Bills right now, 10-1. If you want them for the Super Bowl, I just put money on them. I should have put money on them a while ago. 10-1, good odds. If you still believe in them, they look good.
They look really good.
That's all I got. So next week,
can Josh Allen go to Kansas City in January and beat Patrick Mahomes to go to the Super Bowl?
I would say it's not. What do you think? You give it like a 45% chance that he could beat him?
No, I give him 20, 15, 20.
Really?
Maybe it goes up to 45 if one of the Chiefs has COVID or there's a little outbreak, but those boys better be careful come playoff time.
No, you don't. So, wow, you think it's less than – I thought it was like a little less than 50-50 chance.
Josh Allen's having a great year. The idea of going to Kansas City, that's not a 50-50 game to me.
But if they do the same thing the Raiders did to the Kansas City Chiefs and play that defense that way or outscore them, one of the two, I could
even the Dolphins played well against the Chiefs, but yeah, I don't know. The Bills defense would really have to step up in that game. They have good corners. I'll say that. They have good corners. I don't know who covers Kelsey, but they have good corners.
We'll see. Good luck next week in Sports Dominus.
I'm excited for it.
That's all I got. Go to Sports Hangover sportshangover.com. Everything is there. The podcast, a lot of swag up there right now. T-shirt, Jeremy's ideas up there. What's the T-shirt again?
Saturday sermon. Most sermons occur on Sunday, but Ohio State has a new running back. His name's Trey Sermon. He had 330 rushing yards in the Big Ten title game. They're heading to the Rose Bowl, Mike, which means it's a Saturday sermon. Get your Saturday sermon Buckeye shirt on the sportshangover.com.
Are there bowl games that we should be aware of, or I haven't watched any college football? Should I watch anything?
The bowl games, it's a weird time for bowl games. There's like teams that are good who aren't playing bowl games and teams that are bad who are going to play. It's a weird year. It's going to be Clemson, Alabama, and the national championship game on January 10th. We'll catch up on college football before.
Okay. Whew, good thing. Catch me up. Yeah. All right. Go to sportshangover.com. If we can get a rest of most moves, we are back next week.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays. Merry Christmas.